Hello, welcome back to Management 291. Excuse me, Strategic Management. This is a capstone class. We're in doing chapter 9. I think we have two more chapters, and you'll be doing your case analysis. So remember, we'll go right into it. You're taking me on an online class, face to face class, or a blended class, or a hybrid class, as some call it, half online, half, what do you call it, in the classroom. This is a supplemental. Remember, print out my concept maps, read the book, utilize the short YouTube the author has, excellent, specific for the main points of the chapter. This is basically a quick overview utilizing the concept maps of all the chapters, reading for you to study for the exams and the quizzes that are you're doing well in. Remember, look at this course here, just quickly overview, look at this class here, strategic management, as if you're going to, this class here is taught as a community college to prepare you for your bachelor's and your master's, and some of you for your dissertation, thesis, paper you'll be writing. And so basically what you're going to be finding out that when you're going to be going for your master's, you may have to take a competency exam. Here, take the class you fifth, you got an A, and then overall you got an associate degree. A lot of four-year universities and even many your MBAs, especially those go for your PhDs, you will have to take a competency test. So after you finish all your core subject, mine is international business and management. I would have to take a competency exam on all those chapters, an oral and a written exam. You see what I mean? So look at this course as you should know everything. Now you're going to be a manager in the class. Okay, so let's go on. I'm going to quick going. There's a lot of information going to be covered. We're covering chapter, for lack of a better word, chapter 9. Strategy, review, evaluation, and control. And a lot of the control will be done, as you'll find out, is through information systems that we did in last chapter 8. Okay, so where are we at on here? And I'm going to try to keep it underneath. I've been hitting 40 minutes. There's a lot of information. Do the reading and you'll do well. Remember, this is a quick, either you look at this before you do your reading or you look at it afterwards, use my concept maps, print them out, and add it in your own words. Okay, so where we're at in the chart, remember, I'm finally figuring out the book here. I have to teach it from the perspective of the author that wrote the book. Right, it's like when I teach the classes. So I don't try to bear. I may not agree with the author on all their points, but this the level here, it's basically a line in the sand. You had no viewpoint before, so this is a solid foundational class. Do you know what I mean? So get the understanding. Okay, so we're using the author on that. But basically, this is this whole chapter going through here. So we're in chapter 11 now, or chapter 9. So you see it's marked in red, and eventually you'll be in here. And then after you finish in 2 weeks, I think by next week you'll have the rest of the chapters. You'll be working on your case study. Remember, you're supposed to pick up a company, and I'm going to address that in a little bit. So as part of our discussion coming in here, I better make a note of that. Remember, I'm live here. Okay, so let's see. So we're going to be talking about strategy and evaluation. Okay, let me make this just a little bit bigger here for you. Excuse me, if you go 200. And I'll just go through this. And as I said before, it's a summarization, so you should do pretty good. It basically, you have three basic activities. Examine underlying basis of the firm strategy. Where are we at now? Do we have a strategical plan? Most of you, do you have a strategy? What are you going to do after you graduate? Compare expected results to actual results. Here's where I should be at this level for the next promotion, or the company should be here for our next cultural change or direction strategically where we're going. Take corrective actions to ensure performance conforms to the plan. As anything else, when we're sending our a spaceship, whatever you want to call it, to the moon. Do you have to make always every minute, just a little correction because it go off course, but just that tiny. But off the wall, it'll be way off course. So you always have to make corrections on that. Okay, strategy evaluation criteria is consolidance, consistency, advantages, and flexibility. Okay, to make sense, is it consistent? What's the advantages to the organization? And remember, if you're trying to sell to your employees, what you're going to find out, that's why you have more of the matrices, more different managers. It may take longer to get to the end because you have more people having comments, but you have a better product, and the biggest thing, you have a buy-in within your organization. The more managers you could bring in from different departments that are they're informal or formal leaders, okay? And you have to be flexible. You got to adjust. It's like those who do renovations. You think you got a plan, but something came up there. Oh, we didn't know the sewer line went right underneath your house. Oh, we didn't know you were underneath a floodplain. Now, how do you adjust? You need this and this. Okay, so that's what the companies. Remember, you're thinking 2 3 years in the future, and we'll go into here. Okay, now why strategy evaluation? Strategy evaluation is more difficult today because it changes. Dramatic increase in environmental complexity, external environments, people, what they like, they didn't. I mean, companies, new products, new tariffs that we're looking at. The administration putting on. Is there a trade war? Is there a new agreement? All that has to be incorporated into my. I got a 5 year plan. If I got to make adjustments, something happened to my advantage or maybe to my disadvantage. But if it's a disadvantage, it's not in business. It's not like I'm going to give up. No, I spent too much money into it. I've got it invested. How do I minimize the negative repercussion on my operation or my strategic plan and adjust it so it works well? People are thinking Hillary Clinton was going to win. She didn't win. Get over it. Who's got Trump? Okay, what's his agenda? Remember, I'm a business person. I can't control his own office. I try to get the best out of the situation, minimize my any kind of threat or losses, but try to pick up someplace else and utilize that because there's new rules and make it work strategically adjusting. Okay, rapid rate of obsolescence of even the best plans. What's good today may not be good tomorrow. Remember, everyone had planned this strategically. Trump administration's in power. All those plans have been adjusted quickly, or new people coming in that have a different viewpoint that can understand the leadership. Come on, you got to look at what are the rules, okay? And decreasing time span, and that can be done with any degree. Okay, the process for evaluating strategies. Now, I'm going to open this up. We talked about this on our discussion board. We talked to it in our classroom. You look at the video. You look at that. You have a good understanding. Remember, you're at the end here. How are you going to present this to your team, other people? Okay, so you got to evaluate. Strategy evaluation, initiate managerial questioning. And a lot of times you have different expectations. Do we meet it? Other people always challenge. Don't look at it. I don't want to rock the boat. At this stage, when you're looking strategically, you want people that are other outside thinkers going, hey, what about this? That doesn't make no sense. Give me a break, dude. Or do this. All right. All right, so I'm trying to be gender neutral here. What the heck? All right, so review objectives and values should stimulate, okay, creativity in generating alternatives and formulating criteria for evaluation. Get people involved, get them excited, or they're excited that we're going to have a new product, company's going to grow, or you're going to get them excited to say, hey, if we don't make this, we're all out of a job. 2 ways to motivate individuals. It depends where you're at strategically. You can't change it. If the company's going down, Sears, Kmart, how do I motivate these people? They think they're already 1 foot in the, or you're already buried here so far. You only head out here. You're sinking in quicksand because you can't get out. And then people aren't going to come on that bandwagon, okay? Right? So it makes sense? All right. So remember, companies, you got to look at how do I adjust? What's going on? And if it's because of the fear that we're going to be under, and that's your strategy, remember, you're going to be doing your strategic case for the company that you selected. Okay? Okay, evaluating strategies on continuous rather than a periodic basis. Always got to look at changes. You don't want to wait till the last minute to make the adjustments. You change as the situation warrants it. Okay, successful patience, willingness to promptly take corrective action when necessary. And that's the thing with me. I'm very energetic. I want to do it now, but take your time to go to the next one. So, you got a little time. Sometimes you don't have a time. It's a building's on fire. Let's see. How do we evacuate? You already should have a plan. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. Let's move on. Automatic pilot. Other times I got enough time to think about it. Talk to people. Do some research. Have different departments. Give me some focus groups, some information. Talk to you in your meetings. You see how you can do all this? Remember, you're trying to get this going. I'm trying to teach you the skill sets you need to bring this plan into effect. Not only what you're learning here. That's why you're doing my own recording and the other recording for the publishers. Okay. You got a table in here. What does the table says? Major thing. It just gives you like a time frame, for lack of a better word. And here's another one: activities. And this one, you look at the process flow chart. We talked about this. I'm not going to go into it. Follow it through. Here's the arrows. Yes, no, goes this way. And a lot of times when you're doing in business, when you're doing strategically, you're doing what they call process mapping. I'm doing a concept map, taking everything else in here in a kind of an outline, a real basic outline format. I place in more words in my concept map than I would do if I'd be doing my own. I don't need the ands and buts. I already know what I want. I want the key terms. But right now, you as a student, and I'm learning conceptual maps, how to do it. And this program here, I'm not selling it, but it's Mind Map. MindJet basically interacts with Excel, so it works well with a lot of the business applications. The fee's not that much. I think it's like a couple $100. Come on, it's a software. You're doing well on that. But you see, it outlines everything else. I would get rid of all the ands and buts. Just boom, boom, just the main key point. But you need that right now. Eventually, make it smaller. You want so you can retain. Like here, this happened. You automatically are making that decision. You're automatically finding that information that's in your long-term memory. I'm trying to bring in here. Okay, turn that off. Okay, now reviewing the basis for strategy. Uh, how have competitors reacted to our strategy? Remember, it's a game. I don't want to say warfare. That's also negative. It's basically like a chess game, for lack of a better word, right? You move here. My competitor does this. I want to basically get the ultimate customer and be the number one in the business. I want to be the people that they benchmark. My strategical plan, that's what I'd be looking at. Okay. Have competitors' strategy? Have their strategies changed? Remember that you got to be fluid. What are they doing? Have major competitors' strengths or weakness changed? Remember, you're always looking at not only internal, external. That's why you had the matrices that had to be updated on a consistent, basically. If something changes, updated right away. Same thing when you do your resume real quick. If you're doing your resume, what changes? It's past history. So if you're doing something, you just throw it in. The next time you need it, you just add those in. Don't worry about updates. Some people update them every day. I do it when I need to update the resume, but I have a file. From this date on is my baseline, and all this new stuff came in. How do I put it into my resume? And that's what you basically see. I'm trying to do. You're already looking strategically what's going on. You're taking this college because you know the next job needs at least a couple of years of college. You know you want to go to 4 university. Take it here. It's more cost effective at a community college. You're strategically thinking now for your own process. Now think of that for a company. How you're going to move forward. You're saving for that house. You're saving for that car. Everything you're doing here is what you're trying to do. But how do you control it? How do you know I'm hitting on target? Okay, what are some competitive strategies? And again, are they more successful than others? Because I got to do a counteroffense, like in chess. How satisfies our competitors with the present market? They may be moving out of the market, so that may be. Don't spend all that money. They're going to be gone. I'm going to be down to two competitors. I'm the number two. Now I'm number one without even doing anything. But remember, the number three moved up also. But then another competitor may come in to take that void, or they may not, and it could be a supplier. Remember horizontal, vertical integration? We talked in one of the strategies previous chapters. I try to tie this in. You're always thinking as a manager, as a leader, in the future. Those of you who are first line supervisors and you want to go into the next managerial position, I'm looking for an individual in the corporate that has those skill sets now. Your window is only like 2 weeks, but you're saying, hey, I think in the next year we could change this whole department around, or my processes. And I go, man, he's already thinking as a middle manager. Psh, remember? You already got the skill sets. Less training as you go up. You do a lot of that on your own, your college and everything else. Okay, how far can our competitors be pushed before retaliating? Eventually, I'm taking away the market. What are they going to do to say, hey, we want our market back? How could we more effectively cooperate with our competitors? Now, if you look at some competitors, if you look at milk, people stop drinking milk for whatever reason. You know what I'm talking about? But now so all the milk dairies or people involved, farmers, got together, and as a collective, a cooperative, they're saying milk is good for you. As a general message, they're not looking for anything else. You'll cooperate with your competitors. True value is basically as a co-op. They're all independent, they buy by bulk. It's almost like if you're going to buying at a market day at your school or church or synagogue or mosque, wherever your place of worship or wherever you hang out. And you know what I'm talking about? I think I covered it all. You see how hard it is to communicate nowadays? I say one thing, upset somebody else. Say another thing. Hey, take me for what I am. I make a mistake. I apologize in advance. Let's go forward. That's what business. When I talk with clients, they're not worried about political correct. How do I resolve the issue? Tell me what the heck is wrong with it. Don't give me all these big words. Just tell me you screwed up here. You had to do that. Now, how do I tell that message? Different when I tell the message to the board of directors than I'm telling my first line employees. Be general with them. Be open with them, and you can get the message out. Okay, so measuring the performance. This is going to be a longer one, but I'm adding into it. Measuring organizational performance. Strategics are used for quantity. Remember, in business, it's not qualitative. Quantitative. Qualitative is touch and feel. In business, I got to measure it. I got to know what it is. I got to know the baseline tree, critical component. You're looking at performance over different periods of time. Finance, comparing, finance, production, everything else. Are we making more units? Are we having more waste? What's going on? Something our quality is going down. We have to destroy more of the waste. Hey, that's not cost effective because some of our material I can't reuse it. I can't. Reheat it and bring it back to its natural elements. It just doesn't work that way in some of the, if I'm a pharmaceutical or some of the other industries. Okay, it's got to be pure ingredients, for lack of better words. Okay, comparing the firm's performance to industries and to the competitors, and basically expected results to the actuals. What's our deviations, and should we deviate? That's where your alternative comes in there. Always have more than one plan, and you take parts of the other one instead of reinventing the wheel. Evaluating individuals' performance, that what makes the organizations. That's your most expensive, is your human resource, but that's the thing that really gives you a competitive edge. Technology gets you only so far, even with artificial intelligence. Maybe down the road they'll be smarter, but do they know the human spirit? All right? Trying to put that in there because there is AIs are really doing marvels and everything else. Will they be able to control us? Who knows? I throw that in there. Come on, I got a different audience here. Just strategically, how do you plan for that? Okay, key questions to address and evaluating strategies. Are you between high and risk, between long-term and short-term projects? What's your strategy? Is it a short-term thing to bring it up? Remember, your short-term, look, if you're going for associate degrees, that's your short-term, then you go for your bachelor. But you have some degrees, you at least have 2 years of degree you can write on your resume. If you're going to a 4-year degree and you're only taking, first 2 years, you only got a whole bunch of credit hours. You have nothing. You have to complete the 4 years. You see, so you're taking different steps where you get your certificate and everything else, and you're building your strategy basically to get your bachelor's, your master's, or your PhD. Always pushing you to the end there, right? And Maslow's all the way to the top. Okay, between slow growing markets and fast growing market. Fast growing markets, more people, but how fast they grow, and it may be a fad, may drop off. Okay, or slow growing markets, more consistency, depending on the strategy of your organization. Okay, what are the relationships among funds? What are major competitors like to respond? Remember, they're always looking at it as a chess game. Okay, taking corrective actions. Here's just a table. You got to alter. You got to replace one or more individuals. Someplace he or she's not it. You look at the current administration. They're coming fast as that door is revolving. In and out. But will he eventually have his team that he wants? Or does he need the team? Look, if you look at consultants, large consultants, they've got their partners, their core team. They bring people in and out, burn them up. I say burn them up, overwork them and everything else, because there's a lot of energy, a lot of stuff. You got it done in a short period of time, and they're getting paid high volume. So it's a very stressful job, like it or not. And then some leave and go, but they're always bringing new people depending on what they want. Do you see what I mean? So I'm always fluid. Do you see? All right. So is that what the administration is doing? He have his key individuals, and the rest he moves along as he needs them, as the environment changes. That's what a business person does, but that's not what politicians do. But strategically, it's a different approach. You see what I'm talking about? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. And in business, look at that approach. You'll see the vice president go. You'll see the financial officer go, because he's going this way because the economy is going a different direction, and he has this viewpoint. It's hard for him or her to change the viewpoint. They just buy him out or whatever, and bring another person strategically. See, so it's very fluent. Reverse objectives, alter strategies. Maybe we got to change. A lot of changes. There's a lot of write-off on the debt with the new administration. They want to get rid of that, more debt, more equity financing, more capital. That's where you're using depreciation or something else, using that more as a write-off than just having expenses, because I can write that off as doing business, even though it's a percentage, or tighten that percentage. So I have to change my plan, install new performance. I haven't looked at it. I'm just anticipating what may come out there. What the rumors are out there. Okay, install new performance incentives. What makes sense because the directions. Remember, you're going to be rewarded if you do this task, and if the goal is here, but I'm not rewarded here. Why the hell I want to do this? I'm going to do this task. Okay, terminate salespeople. Add usually you add more salespeople to bring it in, but people that are company loyal, so your own staff, and you terminate your outsource or your missionary, for lack of better words. I think that's the term they use for Salesforce that you contract out. Okay, and rein in your what you do yourself. Remember, you want to get more commitments that it's all made here in the U.S. And that's basically what's happening now. That's the new administration making in the U.S. So instead of going out there, I bring more of my factory line in here, and I could say made in the U.S. and jump on a bandwagon and get even though I understand, just say made in the U.S. You don't have to go, make America great. Fine, that's a common theme. But some businesses want to shy away from that, saying, "Oh, that's more like a Donald Trump," even though that's what it is. What the heck's the difference? So they may just say made in the U.S. And people in subliminal is already there, made in the U.S., American-made product, workers, jobs, money stays here. Do you see what I'm talking about? You see how you're doing that balance, remember? Because I don't want to upset the far left. I don't want to upset the far right, in the middle, and wherever they're at. Remember, I'm a business owner, so strategically, I'm maneuvering my mission within all these forces that may take effect on me or not. Remember? When something happened with FedEx and they wanted to ban the NRA, and he said, "Hey, I'm just a delivery company. I don't want to upset anybody. I just deliver here. Same to the U.S. mail. You can't say you can't deliver to a leftist or a rightist or in the middle or extreme, whatever. You have to deliver it as part of your job, and you stay out of that. Do you see how I'm maneuvering? And strategically, that's something you have to be looking at. Okay, so now what's a balanced scorecard? A balanced scorecard, some companies or your company may call it a dashboard. You see exactly where we're at. So it's a firm continuing improving and creating value along measures such as innovation, technological product quality, everything else. What's the value? Remember, value a lot of times is a perception in the mind. Could I touch value? I know it's a good product. I could touch that, feel that. But the customer service, the value, how they respond to me, they're right on. You know what I mean? So that value is important, okay? Okay, is the firm sustaining and improving on its core? Its core mission, what are we about? Am I still competitive? Am I coming up with new innovation? Am I online in my core mission? That's what's the strategic. What's my vision? If my vision changed, remember IBM used to make computers. Okay, forget IBM. Let's bring in BlackBerry because they're coming around. You know what I mean? So let's throw their name in. And I guess some instructors already carry BlackBerry. I thought they were kind of, But if they're the new Blackberries, it's just an equipment. It's like a little computer, for lack of a better word. But what does BlackBerry's strength is now? They're not making the okay. So they made a miss delete on the smartphone was out there. No problem. Okay, they could catch up on that. There's enough out there. Will work it for me. All right, so don't worry about the blackboard on that BlackBerry. All right, what their strength is that they basically have is, for lack of better words, security. The best security encryption. You can't. Apple's been hacked. All this got cloud. So they're now their whole mission. They'll still have the BlackBerry phone for the name because they have brand recognition, but they'll be focusing in more on, for lack of better, the consulting side. I think that's where they're going to go. So I think the stocks are going to go. I should start buying stocks on them. That's just me. I don't know. You remember stocks is a gamble. All right. How satisfied are the customers and the balanced scorecard approach? You got to look at the long term, the financial, external, and you take a balance. Am I spending enough money or the resources? Should my vision change? And they got United Postal, 3M's always doing Heinz, 100 other. Now Sears, if they got that, they're really doing bad. Maybe that's why it's keeping them still alive. Okay. Now contingency planning. I want to finish, is basically if a major competitor withdraws the market, what's my contingency? Do I want to absorb that market? Do I want to buy their facilities because I'll get it the dirt cheap, for lack of better words? Or do I want to pick up some parts of them and buy that out and get rid of the rest so I don't have a competition in that area? Just combine mine. If demand of our new product exceeds our plans, what should we do? If a certain disasters occur, what action should we do? EMF, or a solar flare can have some effect, or a volcano, or whatever, earthquake. I'm just saying this. How do I repair or flooding? You know what I mean, or tornado? How do I absorb that? Okay. Okay, technology sooner expected. How quickly? You should really remember when I tell people to buy a computer, buy it. Even though you buy it off on the rack or something else, buy the best one you can with the core processor. Because computers will last for a while. After 90 days, they have no problem. The electronics still last. The problem is they don't have the power anymore to run the newer software. So you limit it. It's slow and everything else. You buy a new computer because it has more memory. Look at the new computer, big. Look at the smartphone, basically my computer. Pretty soon I just plug that in and just use this as this whole area is just as a screen. All right, let me get on here on my soap opera. Once in a while, remember, you're closer to the end, so I want you to start thinking about company strategic. So I'm going a little bit more because this is basically, you've had all those chapters, now we're at the end, controlling, looking at that. Okay, so effective contingency plan. Always have a backup plan. Something doesn't happen, have a backup plan. Identify good in both events that could jeopardize the strategy. What if program? Now, this software that helps you do that and work it through with your team. Determine good when good and bad events are likely to occur. Okay, determine expected pros cons of each contingency event, and then develop contingency plans on key issues and early warning signals triggered. And a lot of times you hit, but sometimes you may have it, sometimes you don't. There's something happens. That's why you have people monitoring the external and internal social media, not just what the legacy news, because a lot of people don't even watch that. Even baby boomers are kind of dropping away. That's almost like a dying industry. It'll be like the radio or AM. Until people stir on there, but you won't be reaching a majority. Most of this interaction. Pretty soon, I got to interact you in real life classrooms. Is what I'll be working on in this next semester. All right, so we'll have a classroom, and I'll be doing a lecture here, and you'll be just on your little iPhones, Dr. George, this and this. That'll be interesting. I just have to do another way, but that's what's going forward. Okay, instead of just one-way communication we have right now. All right. Okay, then the next one, auditing. Okay, objectively obtain evidence. Okay, regardless of assertion. So you got to audit. Make sure that your processes are in place. I'm going to quickly go in here. The next one is the 21st century. The set of process should more of an art than a science. Remember, strategic is a guess. You have to have that intuitive, the numbers and everything else, and even the software, the intelligence, artificial intelligence helps you, but you're still going to say, I think this is the way it's going to go. Some leaders are very successful because they know where they're going. Some people, all right, visible or hidden from stakeholders, more top down, okay? And then the next one, this last one, very good. Whew. Okay, guidelines for effective strategic management. There's your guideline. Keep the process simple, easy to understand. Don't make it complex. Remember, the rest of that is BS. Bull and then I don't know, all right. It is. It's just bull. I mean, it's important. You need to know it, but certain individuals need to know it. Not everyone. Your core individuals. What's the mission? What are we keeping going? Are we on target? That's what your dashboard does. That's what your ratios do. This gives you an indicator. Then you find out why that indicator is going the wrong way. When your hot engine light goes on, you don't know what is it. A radiator? Is it a fan? Is it a water pump? The different components. Oh, geez, maybe I'm out of antifreeze. What the heck happened? Maybe it's a thermostat. You see all those components, but it just gives me a dashboard. Just something's wrong. Stop, look at it. That's what you're supposed to keep it. Understandable, right? On this one for your individual, are we on target? Are we still getting a large majority of share? If not, why? We should have it be at 60%. By this time, we only got 20%. What's going on here? Let's make the adjustment. Eliminate vague planning jargon. Don't be specific. I want this by this date. Very objective. Remember, that's why you utilize APA in business, American Psychological Association, when you do citation, because it has the year, the date. In business, I need it within the most current, the most accurate. 5 years to me is a long time. It's like 100 years because the market's changed so much. The most current, the most better. Keep the pace non-routine. Don't make it boring, always changing, because life is changing, the forces are changing. Think of yourself of a plant. A plant grows. When it gets cold, it shrivels. And the sun comes out, it grows. It doesn't have any water, it shrivels. It comes back. Do you know what I mean? So a company has to be that living or organic or organization. All right, learning organization, organic, depends on what author you read before. All right, just as the terminology, you got to be flexible coming in there. That's what you have to look at. Welcome bad news and good news. Bad news sometimes can turn around to be good news. If you could take something that's a negative and turn it around to make some money on it. And I don't want to be with everything else. Remember strategically, but there's companies right now, a lot of security companies for schools and everything else because of the shooting. Security companies are coming in there like everything else. They got backpacks. I got bulletproof in the back, so your child could hide behind it. That's kind of to me. I'm like, who would be thinking that? But some parents will do it. I'm a company. I'm coming up with an idea. Remember, what I'm trying to say. Let the pain go by, but then you have to be able to do in business risk management, and people do risk management. Remember in Maslow, where's my safety? I'm up here, now I don't feel secure anymore, so I got to drop down in here. All right. Okay, so we've got everything covered. Da, 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 da. Do not allow technicians to monopolize. Remember, techies want everything. Could I sell it? Does it make sense? I don't really care. Or do is it something that I should have? Because that's what everyone else has. My competitor has, and it's a use. Everyone's on social media and blah blah blah. They got on these other platforms. Even though remember, you'll find me in other platforms. I'm not presenting as an individual contributor. But I got to get in there to get the name and everything else and see if that platform is alive. If it becomes good, then it's a crossover. I see a lot, and you see a lot of people are doing. One platform is, for lack of better words, going into its cycle. Facebook may be out. I think Gav's going to be taking that over. But eventually it'll be the same thing. As stores come in, it goes through the life cycle. Product life cycle, service life cycle. All right, we're all done in here. Okay, whew. Okay, I think I got an hour in this one. I know I do. But I apologize, but I think I'm getting closer to the end. So what I want to do is basically when I'm close to the end, I want to start emphasizing this more and more, a little bit longer, so you understand. I don't want to go through all of this, but we covered everything else here, right? We had our, you got to evaluate your strategy. It's harder now because it's more fluid, so you got to have technology involved in that. If you're not, get somebody in there. Don't let them overtake it. A process, the different procedure, how you check up on your strategy, make sure it's good. Okay, so you're looking at measuring your performance. That's basically that the organization is going the right direction, knowing that your performance is going to be down because you're putting up new strategy, you're changing the culture, you're changing the direction of the organization, and there's going to be a learning curve. But how quickly I bring this learning curve up is what you have to manage. All right, and how do I bring those that don't want to jump on the bandwagon? You terminate them, outsource them, retrain them. If they don't want to go, then you have to let them go. That's part of the strategy. Come on, a company's got to go forward, like it or not. That's part of life. All right. I'm not trying to be cruel. I'm just trying to be just as a strategic management. You had the middle manager or your company department. You had to make those decisions to keep the organization going. That's what you're being paid for a salary, or that's why you want your business to be successful. Taking corrective actions, a balance, a scorecard or dashboard, characteristics of a good evaluation. Always have a backup plan because you use parts of the backup plan. You don't want to reinvent the wheel; it's already going. I just make some adjustments. Effective contingency plan. Always have them in there. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, or part of Plan A, Part B. I take certain parts of it. Always doing auditing. How much it's costing me, so it doesn't go out of the spiral. Are we still on target? Is the main mission or the vision of the organization going where it has to be? And challenges in 21 centuries, and you had real good guidelines at the end. All right, so we're done. Let's see how many minutes I have. I got 32 minutes. I did better than I thought I did. Very good. I hope that recorded. This is my best time yet. I thought I was in an hour, even with all my little stuff. It is a better chapter. All right. So again, I'll see you in the discussion board. And remember, you in a couple of weeks, those who are taking me on in a class at a community college, you'll be doing your papers. And so this is now spending a little more time giving you that. I want you to feel what's going to be like. But look at it not only for here, as those of you going for your bachelor's or your master's or your PhDs, you're basically going to have to do a competency exam. That means all your chapters are going to be tested on. Not like here in a community college, you have all the grades, you passed it, and you just give it your associate. Going forward, you got to pass all the grades, but then you have to take a written oral exam on all the different chapters, looking at cases, or you have to do and plus a competency exam where they ask you a question in different chapters that you understand the concepts if you had this type of a scenario. All right? So see you in chapter 10 and 11, two more chapters. All right, bye.